Welcome in, Man Hour Nation. Might look a little different this week. Buck is out coaching the boys and the pigskins. So you got your boy Mike and your boy GBG. Welcome in, Man Hour. Ready for some NFL talk. What's up, Greggy?
Oh, just looking forward to this. It's been way too long since we did anything with Buck. It was beginning of the season, and it's great to be back on his show. And let's just get this rolling.
So I know Buck always kicks it off with the thoughts. He is Mike Buck. I am Mike Reeves. And Mike's thoughts, he goes on a little rampage, usually about sports. My rampage this week isn't going to have anything to do with sports. It's going to have everything to do with commuting. Now, every day I got a little highway drive home, and I know we have people watching from all over the country, all different highways, all different state laws. But here, the left lane is the fast lane. I'm pretty sure that's everywhere, no?
I'm pretty sure it is. I've been in a lot of places.
Pretty sure everywhere. Well, in Minnesota, I think it's intended to be the slow lane and the semi lane, because every single time I drive home, I get stuck by semis trying to pass each other the whole entire way, and it drives me absolutely nuts. So there's Mike's thoughts. The left lane is the fast lane. Let's kick it off. Where's that?
Hey, now it's time to take off. Gotta keep it live and raw. Better stay tuned in. Man, our NFL talk. I know that you're ready for more. They on the field, ready for war. Who's in the lead? I'm checking the score. We about to do it like never before. NFL live, uncut, raw. This is Man Hour NFL talk. Let's go.
His intro is so much better than ours.
Welcome to Man Hour NFL Talk, your go-to spot for live, raw, uncut NFL talk. We are so glad to have you here with us today. Now, before we dive into the action, let me tell you a little bit about manhourradio.com. That's where you can grab all the exclusive merch, check out our latest blogs, and stay up to date on everything that we're doing. If you're repping the Man Hour, that's the place to do it. And don't ever forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to stay connected with us and make sure you never miss a show. But wait, Greggy, there is more. You can become a Pigskin Pundit. That's our members-only community where you get free entry into all of our weekly NFL pick'ems, giveaways, and exclusive merch. You'll also get access to the extra live streams that only our Pigskin Pundits get. So if you want the full Man Hour experience, sign up and join the squad. Now, remember, folks, this is a live interactive show, so make sure to comment down below. We want to hear what you think, your thoughts, your opinions, and your hot takes. We're all about that conversation. So, Man Hour, rise up and let's get it. We have a wanted man, Greggy. He's back in the news. It is not for his antics on the field. It's not for his music videos. It is. It's a warrant for his arrest. Antonio Brown. Yeah, he is dumb. Look at that guy. What did he do, Greg?
Well, first of all, you can't go around trying to kill people. I learned that one at a young age. You can't threaten to kill people. You can't try to do it. The problem with Antonio, the problem with this whole situation is, remember back when we were kids and you'd get injured and your coach, your dad would say, rub some dirt on it. And you would just have to toughen up. Well, nowadays they're call out 6 specialists, 2 doctors, and a coroner, if you have a stub toe. Problem right now is we need to start treating mental health like that. We need to progress with mental health too, is what I'm saying. We can't just go around when people are walking around with mental health issues like Antonio Brown and just say, oh, he's acting a little goofy or he's a little bit of an oddball. The man has serious issues and he obviously is going to hurt someone or himself. It's pretty obvious now because these used to be funny little antics that he used to do, taking his jersey off on the field, to kind of pseudo retire in the middle of a game, all that. But now it's affecting other people. And now it's getting involved in, seriously, there's enough evidence to charge him with attempted murder. This is serious now. So I think that
it's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's Yeah, and honestly, I think he's probably better off between those four walls. I mean, like you said, his antics, they were cute. When he's out on the field doing this, I mean, you have a little bit more runway than you do now. I mean, now he's damn near posted as a Kanye West. He's crazy, right? I mean, look at the picture we have below. Got his shirt off, piecing out. That was the last cute insanity we saw of him walking off the field, when Tom Brady was throwing him the ball. Ever since then, he's continued to just go downhill. And I think there were some videos that came out of this incident. I'm pretty sure he's going to prison.
Yeah.
He's toast.
This is something that he's, what they say, FAFO, and that was my way of not swearing on this show. But it's like he's going to wake up in a jail cell and realize that nobody in the criminal justice system gives a damn that he's Antonio Bryant or not. And he's going to find out the hard way.
Yeah. No, he's definitely in some big trouble. So I do see below us, and I definitely, we're going to dive right into some of that. We're going to start with my squad, though, the Vikings.
Buck's got you at 6 wins.
Mr. Buck on his own show. He's not here to defend himself against my Minnesota Vikings. Had them with 6 wins, which, I mean, that's clickbait, right? I mean, I get it. You're trying to get people commenting and clicking and baiting, but there's no way that there's 6 wins. And we'll break it down week by week, and I will give you my realistic, my sane picks, and you give them with me, Greg. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we got Monday night, week 1, Chicago Bears. That's a win.
That's a win.
Yeah. Week 2, Atlanta Falcons, Sunday night. That's a win.
Yep.
Week 3, Cincinnati Bengals, loss.
I mean,
week 4. Well, I got to give some too, right? I mean, I can't.
Yeah. I mean,
I can't just sit here and win them all.
Is Trey going to be there? Because
probably not.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why it's too early to do this, but I get it. Buck wants us to talk about our teams, and I get it. But my point is that a rookie quarterback, and that's what JJ is. He's a rookie quarterback. He's going to be playing his third game. In his third game, he's got to possibly go up against the sack leader from last year. That's going to cause you to be off on your timing, for at least a part of the game. So how does he adjust to that? I mean, it's one of the few times where I would say that if the defensive player is playing in a game, one defensive player, it could change the outcome just based on who he's playing against.
Well, we also drafted a first-round guard. We have Christian Darrisaw, Brian Robinson on the outsides. I mean, we're not real worried about the best sack leader. Christian Darrisaw is a top 5 left tackle in this league.
Mm-hmm.
We beefed up our offensive line. So Cincinnati's, if we have anything to worry about them, it's their explosive offense. Their defense will put up numbers against. We're an explosive. Whether they have Trey or not, I'm not worried about it. But just Burrow, Chase, Higgins, it's deadly. I got to throw some losses out. I could see us losing that one. So I got us at 2-1, going over to Dublin. We're back-to-back across the pond games. This one's in Dublin against Pittsburgh. I got us winning 3-1.
Okay. By the way,
Cleveland Browns.
I just want before we do this, just because you're in this trip right now, that I've heard for a little background on the show, I am the Packer fan living in Minnesota. So I get all of the Minnesota sports talk radio and all that. Everyone on these shows is talking about how the Vikings get to bypass a road trip because they have back-to-back games across the pond. Those two cities are as far apart as Minnesota and St. Louis. So it's a typical away game. So they're still, they're not driving, 35, 40 minutes. It's a flight. It's an 8.5 hour drive. So.
Yeah.
So
Not
my
terrible.
point is they're
And-
not going to be sitting in the same hotel for 2 weeks.
So we did forget to kind of introduce ourselves. So we know Buck because we hosted a show for many years called Twist, the Weekend Sports Talk. We've also gone on Man Hour. I'm sure we will again this year. I usually give a breakdown for the Vikings. Greg comes on, gives a breakdown for the Packers. Our other host, Matt Benz, he's sleeping right now. He's got a bread never sleeps. He's delivering bread in the AM. But we go live Saturday mornings, and we are going live tomorrow, Greggy, not for Twist, but for our rebranded show, North of Normal.
Yes.
You can find us basically anywhere. Find us on TikTok. We're trying to boost up the TikTokers. Get some money out of TikTok. Go find us on TikTok, find our shorts, find our reels, North of Normal. We had to rebrand because we weren't just sports.
Yeah, especially me. I get a little political.
So where are we at? We're in Dublin right now? Steelers?
Yes, sir. Yep.
All right, so we got a win. We're 4-1. Nope, 3-1. Browns 4-1 entering the bye. Does that sound right to you? 4-1.
Yep.
So I'm already 4 wins through week 6, and he's got 6 wins on it all. I'm going to run through them fast. 4-1. Philadelphia Eagles, loss. 4-2. Chargers, win. 5-2. Lions, win. 6-2. Ravens, loss. 6-3. Bears, win. 7-3. We're going to sweep the Bears. I don't care what they're saying about the Bears. We're going to sweep them. 7-3. Packers, win. 8-3. Actually, I'll give you that one. It's at Lambeau. I'll give you that one. 7-4. Seattle Seahawks, at Seattle. We're going to win that one because of Sam Darnold. We're going to beat him up. 8-4. Commanders, loss. 8-5. Cowboys win. 9-5. Giants win. 10-5. Detroit loss. 10-6. Packers win. 11-6.
Spoken like a true Viking fan. Spoken like a true Viking fan.
Oh, please. Oh, please.
No, it's. I'm not. I don't think you guys are going to be bad. I just think that I think it's going to be more than 6 wins. I just think that you're in the same situation that every other team is with a rookie quarterback. It's going to be a situation where, is he meshing well? You're going to know what he did. You're going to learn real quick how involved he was last year in like the first 3-4 games this year. Because if he's got the rookie jitters and all that stuff, you're going to have a long season. And if he comes out slinging it and he's on, his timing routes are down and all that, well then, yeah, you might be looking, I would say 9 or 10 wins, but I can see 11 if he's clicking from the start. I just think that right now you're in the same situation. The funny thing about it is, when we're going to get to the Packers next, I think that both teams are in the exact same situation they were at the beginning of last year, just with different personnel. You guys didn't know what to expect from Sam Darnold, and you hit lightning in a bottle. This year, you don't know what you're going to get out of JJ, and, odds aren't looking good. There's never been, 6 quarterbacks taken in the first 15 picks, and all of them turned out to be successful. And so odds are against you, but JJ is in the situation that everyone said if you were a rookie quarterback, you'd want to be going into. So, like I said, I would not be surprised with 9 or 10 wins. I would be surprised with 11 or more. It would shock me if it was less than 8, because I think that there's, a lot of wins on that schedule. I think that, both games in Europe are going to be wins. I think that you're right. You are going to sweep the Bears. I think the Bears are going to win like 5 games this year. So I think there's plenty of wins. I'd be surprised if it was more than 10.
Well, I'm not excited to get over to your Packers and see there, but I just got breaking news, Greg. Our coach was the coach of the year last year. I didn't know if you knew that or not. He's
I heard
quarterback whisperer. So rookie schmookie, Greg, we're coming for you. Let's hear what you got.
I'll get to the quarterback whisper thing. I'm not going to go through game by game just because I saved that for when Buck has me on the week before the season starts. Buck did have in his pregame notes, he does have the Packers at 10 wins this year, but missing the playoffs. And what I can tell you about the Packers,
that's because the Vikes got 11.
What I can tell you about the Packers is, as not only a fan, not only the representative of the Packers in the state of Minnesota, which I've been given that title, I'm also part owner. My biggest concern is we really didn't improve at any positions. We got a new guard in. Yeah, we finally drafted a skill player in the first round, but we're replacing what the goal of Golden in the first round was to have a number one receiver because Christian Watson is out. Well, they've played the last 3 years kind of hoping that Christian Watson would be the number one receiver, but he couldn't stay healthy at all. And then you have a lot of Romeo Doubs, Bo Melton, Wicks, and all these guys that are all kind of filling in that 2, 3, 4 slot. So if Matthew Golden comes out to be the next Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, well then, yeah, maybe the Packers win 12 games. But I think the Packers would be satisfied if he was just a consistent go-to guy who could stay healthy. And other than that, they really didn't make a lot of monumental moves. They filled in a lot of gaps. You're hoping that a lot of young guys can pick up some slack. You have some replacement in the offensive line, which was an issue, but really it boils down to the same thing as every other team. Can Jordan Love stay healthy? And when he's healthy, can he play at the level of a $55 million a year quarterback? And if he can, then I think 10 wins is realistic. If he can't, we're looking at 7, 8 wins and struggling. So I think what it boils down to is, can Jordan Love stay healthy? And when he is healthy, can he be productive? We have to remember, Packer fans, that this is a $55 million a year quarterback. We have to expect more from him than Sam Darnold from last year, or a rookie quarterback like Jane Daniels. Any of these guys on these rookie contracts or anything like, or a cheap rate, or Joe Flacco. We need $55 million a year quarterback play out of our quarterback, and it's that simple.
Well, Greggy, I think it's less about him staying healthy and more about if he can elevate those receivers. You've been dealing with the same thing every single year. You draft Jaden Reed, you draft Christian Watkins, you draft Romeo Doubs. Now you got Matthew Golden. You have 2 tight ends. It's not about health. Everybody has the concern of health. It's whether or not he can elevate those receivers up to be something more than they are. Because honestly, you don't have a prototypical 1A or 1B. They're all a bunch of B's and C's, and none of them have done anything to be deserving of that, in my opinion, anyway.
No, you're absolutely right, and that's the thing.
Let's get him back. Let's get the Greggy back here.
That's the thing, is that the part of the narrative that everyone used for the last 20 years, because the Packers never took a skill player, was they're not doing anything to help Aaron Rodgers. And before that, they weren't doing anything to help Brett Favre. I looked at it from a different angle. And I've shared this on our show. Those quarterbacks were so good that they could take a late second, third, fourth round wide receiver and turn them into Jordy Nelson or Devontae Adams, a Hall of Fame caliber wide receiver.
Yeah.
Well, so far, we have a quarterback who makes $55 million a year, who is at best a 10 to 15 quarterback in the NFL. And we need to now utilize some of those first round assets on the first round caliber wide receiver or running back or whatever the case is when it comes up. And until Jordan Love can prove that, no, you can do what you used to do and keep spending your first round draft picks on defensive ends and linebackers and defensive backs and all those things, I'm good on the offensive side. He hasn't been able to illustrate that on the football field to the GM and the coaches and all that stuff, the way Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre did for the past 30 years. It's that simple.
Yeah, no, and that's a great point. They didn't have to waste the picks on him because, like I said, those two past Green Bay Packer quarterbacks elevated everybody else around him. I haven't seen that from Jordan Love yet. He's not proven enough to be like, oh my, they got their next future guy for the next 20 years. I do like him. He sat in the wings. He learned. He's gotten on the field, and he showed enough to get $55 million from the Packers per year. I mean, so he's definitely got talent. I don't like him. I don't like his colors. I don't like his team. I don't like his city. But as a quarterback, yeah, I'd probably draft him in fantasy football. So
I love how
many wins?
Everybody else always says, I hate the city. If I offered you tickets to Lambeau, you would be in my car before I even hung up the phone.
Yeah, I do like Lambeau Field. It doesn't mean I like the city. The whole city is just Lambeau Field.
Yeah.
And houses.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing there.
Well, there's gas
How
station.
far do you got to drive to get to, a Walmart or a McDonald's?
The funny thing is those places are on the exact same road in the same neighborhood as Lambeau. You can park
Just
at
right
the
on
Walmart.
Curly Drive.
Yeah, you just got to walk a couple blocks.
So how many wins do you got?
I got us for 10.
Are they a playoff bust with 10 wins, or are they making the playoffs with more?
No, I think that they're going to be on the outside looking in. I mean, I think that when week 17 comes, there's going to be scenarios that let them in, but I don't think they're going to be able to control their own destiny. I think that they're going to need to win and have something else happen, and one of those two things won't happen. Either they won't win or the other team won't lose, or whatever the scenario is. I just think that in the NFC, with the North being as tough as it is, and with having, the West, with the Rams being, once again in the mix, you're going to have, and then granted, you're just going to get one team on the South. You probably have two teams out of the East. You're not going to get the Lions, Vikings, and Packers all in the playoffs this year.
Good evening, Matt Henry. Thanks for tuning in. All right. We're going to switch gears here a little bit, Greggy. We're going to dive into panic or patience.
Okay.
Now, here's how it works. All right. I'm going to throw out a situation or a scenario that's happening right now in the NFL world. And it's up to us to decide. Should we be hitting the panic button, or is it just time to show a little bit of patience? If we think it's time to panic, we'll say, okay, things aren't looking good. We need to start freaking out a bit. It's the uh-oh moment where everything seems like it's spiraling out of control. But if we think it's more of a relax, take a deep breath and let it play out situation, we'll go with patience. We'll remind ourselves that sometimes it takes time, and not every bump in the road, Greg, is the end of the world. So, are we jumping off the ledge, or are we sticking it out and trusting the process? Let's find out if we need to panic, or should we keep our cool? Panic or patience? Where is it at now? We have some technical difficulties. There he is. Panic or patience? Shemar Stewart. Since he is trying to rob him of his bonus money, is it time to panic or patience with the first round pick for the Cincinnati Bengals? Shemar Stewart, Green Bay.
I'm going panic, and I'll tell you why. This is what I was talking about earlier when you were referring to KOC as the quarterback whisperer. Here's the thing is there's a lot of aesthetics within the NFL that these players pay attention to. And I think, and I've talked about this on our show, I've talked about this to anyone who would listen. As a non-Viking fan living in Minnesota, I got to pay attention to what was going on last year with Sam Darnold. And before his run, and by the way, I'm getting to my point with Shemar Stewart, before his, before the collapse with week 18 and in the playoffs where Sam Darnold didn't play that well, I was on every mountaintop saying that no matter what, you have to let him go. You have to let him go after free agency on his own. Because at the time, everyone was talking about, well, why don't we, franchise tag him and then trade him and get some draft equity for it. And my point to that was, aesthetically, the Vikings are now the home, are now the place that free agents are going to want to go to, because they'll be given an opportunity to succeed. And if they do, they can then go someplace else and collect their huge payday, the way that Sam Darnold did. Sam Darnold just signed a contract, 3 years, close to $100 million. And my point is that he got that because the Vikings just said, you know what? We signed you for 1 year. You did more than what we could have expected of you. And now we're going to let you go advocate on behalf of yourself. My point to the whole Shemar Stewart thing is, and the reason why I think Cincy fans should be panicking, the rest of the NFL is watching this. And if you are going to take a rookie contract, which, by the way, first round contracts in the NFL now are pretty much cut and paste. He was the X number pick, move that line over. That's how much he gets paid. They changed the language in this to be able to get out of some guaranteed money in case he's injured. That is a cheap way to do business. You're now since he's not on top of the Trey Hendrickson issue that's going on, they're not going to be the place that free agents want to go to. You're not going to get, and don't twist my words and say, well, they don't care about a guy like Sam Darnold. Of course not. But there is going to be that defensive end. There's going to be that Josh Jacobs. There's going to be that Derrick Henry. There's going to be these guys that want to sign a 1 year contract with a team to prove they still have it before they then sign in their next 3-4 year contract. And they want to get their market value as high as it can. Cincinnati will never see a guy like that because of things like this.
So Greggy's over there just panicking, right? Everybody's panicking in Cincinnati.
Panicking. 100%.
No.
I would panic.
No.
I'm panicking because of what it means.
There's a little thing. And I get that. I get it. But there's a reason to pause and have a little patience. And you know why? Because if he decides to sit out a full NFL season and re-enter the NFL draft, there's a little thing called the NFL conspiracy. And let me tell you one thing, Greggy. If he sits out all year, we're going to be sitting there watching the NFL draft next year, and the first round is going to go by, and the second round is going to go by, and he's going to be the Shedeur Sanders talk of the NFL 2026 draft, the slide of Shemar Stewart. And you know why? Because you don't mess with the Shield. The Shield owns everything. And if you don't sign that rookie contract by the team that drafted you, yes, Shemar Stewart, you have rights. But if you mess with the Shield, you are going down, sir. And so that's why I say we need to pause, have a little patience, because he knows that. He doesn't want to go from a first-round pick to a fourth-round pick and lose that money. And I totally agree. He's the first rookie in NFL history for them to bring this up in any sort of contract. And I wouldn't sign if I were him. But the NFL, they'll get you. Just ask Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah. All right. I'll take it. I just think it's going to be worse for the team.
We have a little bit both there. Over to your guy then. Jaire Alexander.
What does Buck want me to not panic about or panic about?
Is it time to panic or be patient?
1,000% be patient.
Well, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, it's the thing is I'm 100% on the patience bandwagon for both him and the Packers. Packers, look, they had to play the last 2 years without him anyway. He played less than 30% of the games between injury and then the 1 game suspension for running out and calling the coin flip in a game that he wasn't the captain at. But my point is that the Packers have been able to live without him and do just fine. They're trying a lot of things. They also have some money under the cap that they got rid of, now that they released him. I think they have $40 million under the cap that they can use, so they can kind of see what's going on, maybe pick up a guy or two. Obviously, you're not going to, who knows if that Jalen Ramsey market, dries up a little bit. Packers have a lot of money, and I know they're looking for some draft equity or whatever in Miami. Well, if no one's biting, that compensation is going to go down, and we have the money to pay them, even if it's just a 1-year fix. That's why I'm not panicking in that regard. And for Jaire, this is probably exactly what he needs. He wasn't seen as a pariah in Green Bay. He was loved, but he was like, we were tired of it. There was, a lack of availability, which is obviously an issue, but at the same time, there didn't seem to be a lot of, like, I call it Gen X work ethic, where that, I'm going to work my butt off, and then, you're going to have to come up with a reason not to play me. Now, you never really saw him, busting his hump, or, you never really saw that work ethic that you would hope out of a, $20 million cornerback that was trying to rehab from injury. So I don't think either side should panic.
Well, it pains me a little bit here, not only that he was a Green Bay Packer, but that I'm going to have to admit a little bit of patience here with you, because that's just what the NFL does, right? As soon as you start barking or you become a menace or your contract is too big, I mean, they'll cut ties with you immediately and you're gone. I don't care who you are. Stephon Diggs, these deep, Tyreek Hill, they will get rid of you. And especially when you're not producing on the field. I mean, that was his biggest thing, is he wasn't out there doing anything for Green Bay to win. So it was very easy for them to cut ties. And of course they tried. They made some phone calls. They tried to see if there was a trade market out there for it. But everybody knows that he was going to get cut eventually, and people aren't going to make a trade unless it's a 7th or 6th rounder. They'll just let him go, and hopefully that he'll sign. But yeah, it's definitely patience. You don't panic when an NFL organization, especially one like the Packers, makes a decision like that. That's just business. It's a business decision. It's not one like Shamar Stewart, where that is with the Bengals. They made a business decision and they just run a bad business. I mean, you're an NFL owner of the Packers. You guys run a tight ship over there, don't you?
Well, yeah, and that's kind of my follow-up question is, should I be expecting a call from Kwesi asking for a character reference on Jaire? Would you welcome in?
We are definitely in the market for another wide receiver.
Well, yeah, but do you want a quarterback?
100%. We're the home of welcoming in X. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to
100%.
say, as soon as they released him, they had to update the security cameras at Lambeau because a bunch of people in purple jerseys were dumpster diving in our back lot, picking up our spare change and our trash.
Yeah, we're the home of, the unwanted Packers. We'll take you on. We'll set up a locker right next to Aaron Jones, just make them feel right at home. And I mean, they like coming over here and winning too. We haven't done nothing with them. They come over here and produce in that purple and gold.
Yeah, you can get Longwell to come in. Favre can pick them up at the airport.
Why not?
Yeah, I don't know. I get a kick out of it. I get a kick out of this whole
tonight, Greggy. We're taking over Buck here during the football year. Go ahead.
No, I'll just go. You go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, we're going to be taking over, I believe, from August to October for Man Hour NFL Talk, covering everything NFL. He just had a practice, so we hopped in tonight, and much obliged. But yeah, check us out tomorrow morning on North of Normal, and you can see our third wheel, Matt Benz, as well. Thanks for joining tonight, Greggy.
Great time.
Man Hour Nation, good night.